Hey, what's good, my friends? Thanks so much for checking out the Open Decks podcast. This week, Ryan and I reflected on the first 10 episodes, 10 conversations that we've had so far in the Open Decks podcast series. We also did this one on IG Live, so we had some friends joining us periodically throughout the conversation. You'll hear us acknowledge them. Sat down in my backyard for this one, just an informal conversation about the podcast and Ryan's experience at Project Glow this past weekend here in Washington, D.C., and my trip to Brooklyn with District Apple and the RPG Collective. Thanks again for checking out the conversation. Hope you enjoy this one. Can't wait to get back with our guest next week. Another one from outside the U.S. Stay tuned for that one. Thanks again. Enjoy.
Let's do it. You want to go live?
Yeah, let's go live.
Just tap it. There we go. Why not? All right, we are now live.
It's the first of many.
Maybe we'll see. Yeah, nobody. I don't know if anybody's watching, but we'll see. Oh. We're live from the backyard again.
It's called Tommy's Eden.
Yeah, Arlington's finest, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank God for this backyard because, anyways, it's fantastic. How you been, man?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm all right. Yeah, just on this weekend of carb free. Now, not so carb free. Thank you for this. ruining it for me. Yeah.
until the Open Decks podcast started. Yeah, sorry about that. You mean to ruin whatever workout diet plan.
2 months to get down to a manageable 15% body fat by Tomorrowland. 2 months.
It'll take me a lot more than 2 months, man.
Yeah.
But we're live. Somebody's watching.
Hey,
it's Carlos. There he is. Yeah.
Okay.
RPG Collective representing.
Yes.
Why not? Like, let's go live. We'll do the Open Decks podcast here in the backyard.
Yeah.
It's just you and me this week.
This is flow. Just you and me.
Yeah.
No 30s here.
Yeah. So, how was Project Glow?
The VIP section was my first for this.
You were VIP this year?
Yeah.
You had friends from out of town come in too, right? Visit?
Yeah. I was convinced that my friend Sam from Newcastle would come, and all of us, including the Orlando group, were like, yeah, we're going to sort of like do everything and traveling between each one of our cities to do something, because they're the Tomorrowland group of last year.
Yeah.
We're trying to like go, all right, well, we'll host, and he didn't make it, so it was just me and the Orlando crew, and they're fun.
So would you have three, four of you guys?
Three of us.
Three of you?
Yeah.
All right, nice. So I was out of town at our event in New York.
How was that?
I mean, it was great. We can talk about New York, Brooklyn, and that event and all. But I want to hear more about your experience at Glow, because you've gone to Glow several times, right? I haven't been yet.
This would be my third one. For last five. Okay. I think. Yeah.
And this year I moved it back from late April to late May. Yeah.
Fearing it would be warmer, but that was just not the case. That was
a good weekend,
the
right?
Conditions were, everyone complained about how, we had no idea it'd reach 68 degrees, a very brisk night at Project Glow.
Yeah. What about some of your? I saw just through your stories, like some of the people that you had a chance to check out on stage, like some of our friends, some people we've had at our events before. Like, what are some moments that stood out from the weekend?
So Vic Mitchell goes by Extra. Yeah, saw her on a Saturday. Definitely was quite surprising that we've seen her do a lot of almost a Chicago driven thing.
Yeah.
She went through I think 3 different genres, and she, went and pilfered through even I swear to God, at the very end, just dropped a dubstep drop. I was like, oh no.
She just had an hour set.
Yeah, it was an hour set. Yeah. Yes. I was impressed. Yeah,
she's fantastic. She's one of my favorite at the core of house music, her music, what she brings. She does vinyl. She's just got such a good vibe, beginning to end. And we gotta have her back.
She's quite the curator of this thing. The house music. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So Extra. What else? Any other locals that you got to check out, or? or straight to the headliners?
I went straight to the headliners. I came in late. I was hoping, House of Jane, I would be there in time, but we took a train in. We were just like, let's take our sweet moments of like Wilson. I'm impartial to whatever it is. I know it's a festival.
Yeah.
We're gonna count in the fact that there's gonna be, the scene, the EDM scene here, not the,
Yeah, it's. I mean, we're primarily like clubs, bars, like curated smaller events. I don't do a lot of festivals, right? I have a lot of kids. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to get away for that long. But I would imagine it's a very different just like vibe, like the stamina that you've got to like hang on to keep like it's an entire weekend. It's not just 6 hours, right? Like,
Tommy. I have to get peptides just to do this. Yeah.
But,
lots of orange juice, peptides, every vitamin known to man.
Yeah, I can
put up with this. Yeah,
I don't doubt it. I'm not saying I want to live through it, but one of these days you'll see me at a festival on one corner or the other. But for now, it's a lot of dad duty. So getting a full weekend or more for a festival is a challenge. But
it is
one of these days.
It is.
I don't bring Mama Bear along. She'll get on board.
Let's rock and roll, guys.
Yeah,
Let's get both of you out here next year, hopefully.
So tell us about some of the headliners, some of the more main stage acts performers you were into at Project Glow.
Yeah, let me start with this. All right, so note to self, like this is like dubstep capital. I feel sometimes.
It certainly feels
sometimes,
like it. Yeah.
Like the current vibe is like, hey, let's throw in a mashup. Like, let's get for this daytime, the evening. James Hype came in, and he didn't get his equipment that he needed.
Was that the real deal, or was that staged?
No, that was the real deal.
Really?
You could tell everyone on the message boards was like he wanted CDJ Nexus 2s or whatever.
Which everybody knows. Like we all everybody knew that.
Yeah.
Knows that. So I don't know. It just seems weird for such an obvious mistake. I don't know. I don't doubt the man. The man's talanted, but I'm just saying it seems like everybody's known this for a long time,
how
right? Like
conveniently Tita Lau was there, like
Yeah. I saw I saw just some of the stories again, some of the stuff on socials, and like it had a like in a wholesome way, it had like a WWE feel to it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how it was in person, but watching it from afar, it was just like, oh, that's the Undertaker's music. Like it just felt very very WWE.
I know, we're painting the heel as Dead Mouse. The heel is Dead Mouse.
Well, it depends on your perspective, right? I mean, you can, There, some of us were. I'm like thinking Rock and Stone Cold. Like I was a Rock.
Yeah, straight out of nowhere.
I mean,
The Rock. Yeah.
I don't know. I know I'm dating myself in that sense, but like I know there's the same thing in the last 20 years since The Rock and Stone Cold were like generated the revival.
James
of
Hype,
WWE,
he was so jacked up. I swear to God, dude. What's that guy on?
Man.
He's a monster, dude.
He's like his.
Yeah.
He's just.
He pulls off the sleeveless pretty well.
Yeah. Good for him, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, how was it? Like, I mean, it was he. So he and Tito Lau were on stage together. Like, how was?
I would say that I'm like, I think to say that, like, coming from the Tomorrowland of last year, that I just kind of like, straight up, like, I appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah.
But it's like it's being.
Was he at Tomorrowland last year?
No,
okay, all right.
No, but it feels like it's sort of like everything with like John Summit. It's like being forced upon you because it's just the main stage act has to be performance variety and presentation.
Yeah. I mean that's it sells tickets, it sells socials. Like
meanwhile, you'll be somewhere at the Garden, and the surprise of the night would probably be this obscure stage, the third stage, which would probably have all the. Would be more of our flavor, I think.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I think, it's one of the things that when I'm able to get to festivals or a festival, multiple festivals, whatever, it's that's what I'm looking forward to, right? Like the last like major music festival I attended was like, sorry, no shame, Woodstock 99. Like I just graduated high school.
Yeah, I thought you was about to
Woodstock.
say Bonnaroo or something.
No, man, no. But like Woodstock 99, and there were multiple stages. It was at this big Air Force base, and like everybody knows the headline stuff, right? The, like Limp Bizkit and Korn and Red Hot Chili Peppers, which was all just bizarre, by the way. Like it was being there and looking back on it.
Peak all the new metals.
Yeah, it was.
That date.
It was all the adrenaline and the blonde tips and everything, right? But, but they also had multiple stages for up and coming bands, and like, some, again, they all kind of reflected the sign of the times or whatever. But it was cool to go to a side stage, a mile away, and catch some of these like really talented performers who, could put Woodstock 99 or put Project Glow on their resume and so on. That's where the moments really happen. Like for me, that's what I remember about Woodstock 99. Like was like having those moments with my friends, and like, the stuff that gets in headlines. Like, it's just some really dumb that went on at Woodstock 99. But for me, like the friends I met in high school, the friends I went with, like, we had an incredible time. Yes, we did some dumb stuff ourselves.
No, that's the thing. That's my journey in this whole thing of festivals. Like sometimes you're off the beaten path, and you never know what you'll find. Yeah.
So what else? So James Hype and Tito Lau, our good friend X Extra. What about some of the other performers?
We had a pretty good experience with the like. What is this? I'm the bass house DJ of the night. And we had like I think who else? I'm having problems with the names.
It's all right, man.
I'm sorry.
I understand the
Loud Luxury. Loud Luxury. There you go.
Dude,
Loud
my
Luxury.
hair is nuts, by the way. Like, what the hell is going on with this? This is crazy, dude. There's like, sorry, this is dumb.
This is a lot.
It's all
you're locked in for a
like,
tribute band for
look, there are three signs, three sure signs of summer.
Yeah.
It's like, it's oppressive heat, pride, and my hair is out of control.
Listen.
This is nuts, dude. What's going on?
There was a Seinfeld episode about humidity and hair.
And yeah.
Yes.
Well, I am a Seinfeld episode, whatever. I gotta stop playing with it, but it looks ridiculous, man.
But I
hat on all day, like it's hot as
but I was with my my Orlando crew. They're my Sherpas, and I said, listen, hello. So they were my Sherpas. I just said, here's my saying. I'm very impartial to what goes on tonight. I'm here hosting you guys. Lead on.
Yeah. That's kind of cool that you're able, when you're hosting, you're able to do that and be like, it's usually the reverse of that, right? Where you're hosting, you've got to set the agenda.
Yeah.
And to be able to just be like, this is your
You have
time.
to eat up what we like.
No, exactly. Why bother?
Why bother?
Why do that? But that's cool, man. Maybe, I don't know. I
saw a few of our hometown like scene DJs are the ones that come out for our shows. I've
a lot of faces in the crowd. Like
I've connected
What's
with
up, Max? What's up, buddy?
Hello, Max. Why were you not at Project Glow? Anyways,
we are on Instagram Live for those of you that are hearing this after the fact. There's probably 2 people listening.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's all good, man. Yeah. So keep going.
The East Coast represent. We need to grow our festival scene here. I mean, I know the complaints about sound production. Oh, this can't compare to EDC, this and that. I mean, we just got to be happy that we have something, and spare all the criticism. I mean, I just appreciate we have people who got these tickets, and I felt like 2 days felt a little short. I wish we had 3. I mean, but it
has to be. I mean, it's like moving the event from pre-EDC Vegas to post-EDC Vegas this year. Yeah, there has to be like a come down from. I mean, I've never been to EDC Vegas, but by all accounts, like it sets the standard for like the American festival. And to be after, that's a tough act to follow, right? Like that's not it's not easy, and you got to like manage expectations, and
You do have to manage
Yeah.
them. You do have to manage them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're using a parking lot of an
Yeah.
old, torn down,
Yeah.
abandoned, football field.
well, and hopefully, I mean, to the extent that people have been following like the the Commanders coming back to the area, redevelopment, and all the other things that go with it. The hope is that the festival, can follow. And but again, you're right. Like it has like love it for what it is, enjoy it for what it is, and be to some degree like be grateful that we have it, because we don't.
Yeah,
no more
if the sound is too quiet, get closer to the speakers.
Yeah.
Just like say,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. But we don't so no more moonrise.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, it's
And no more. What is it? The one on Roosevelt Island in New York. There's no more. Was it the? I felt like it was almost similar to EDC. It was like their own version of a 3.
Yeah. I know what
Do you
you're talking
remember what
about.
it is?
Yeah, because last year, right, was
Yeah.
like just a complete train wreck.
Yeah,
There you go.
I mean, surprisingly, because it was the logistical issue.
Yeah.
The logistical issue is like camping and
I mean, yeah,
facilities.
It's a lot of people trying to go one place at the same time, and New York City and even DC, right? I mean, it's a confined area. Like Las Vegas, EDC is out there.
Yeah.
Right? Like it has the space.
Yeah.
Right? Like Woodstock 99
They
for
have
all its
B&Bs,
faults was
yeah.
like it was literally on an Air Force base. So you had like 2 runways of like length to stage it out, and so just from the space alone, like it's difficult for an urban festival to do to kind of please everybody, right? Yeah.
You're better off doing this than Burning Man. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
It's a bias. My bad.
I've never been.
Didn't want to call it out.
To each their own.
Each their own.
Yeah. It's Diego. There he is. There's our guy.
Hi, Diego.
Casanova.
We can't wait for your gig next Saturday.
Oh yeah, next Saturday. That's right. Psytrance.
Yeah, Psytrance.
Rendezvous, right? Is that Rendezvous?
Rendezvous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout it out. Shouting out.
Psytrance, Rendezvous.
Yes.
This will come out on the Monday before. So if you're listening or watching, check out Psytrance at Rendezvous with our guy Casanova. Yeah, all kinds of good stuff going on, right? Like,
Yeah.
it is cool, like how
DC is posting up, man. Let's keep our momentum.
Yeah, there's we've continued to talk about this every time we do one of these conversations, a podcast. Like there's just dozens, if not hundreds, of places, hundreds of events going on, and some of them are rooftops, some of them are backyards, some of them are underground, some of them
talk about
are
the
like
rooftop scene now.
Yeah, I mean, we've been lucky to be invited to. It's not released yet, but I've got a rooftop event that I'll be on later this summer. I'm also doing some some support and gear for a rooftop series called the Sunsets series, and that's with Shook Ones. And that's at the Moxie Hotel, Lucha Rosa, on top of the Moxie Hotel in DC. And it's kind of a nice complement to the Sunday scene, which is really kind of set by Sunday Love, right? Like Sunday Love kind of sets the standard for the house community.
Yes.
And then Sunsets and Lucha Rosa and Shook Ones are kind of bringing in, maybe a different kind of energy, right? Like, it's a great view.
I mean, this is the energy. You wear this shirt, you wear these glasses.
Yeah,
get the sunnies on, and
there's so many more, right? There's CL, the new rooftop series in Clarendon Ballroom, focusing on rooftop events.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for what it is this summer, there's a lot more kind of
sunset,
golden hour, however you want to say it. And look, we've got in DC and even Virginia, like we've got the skyline for it, right? Like the Capitol views, the monument views are pretty incredible when you're getting that 8-9 o'clock hour. The sun's going down, the vibes are right, the drinks are flowing, and the music's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
and stack on that, then there's the Cove, and then you have like these little boat parties once in a while.
Yeah. I know. I'm missing several of them. I mentioned the few that I know the best or have seen the best, but it is. We're lucky to have all of that, right?
Yes.
I think 10 years ago, certainly 20 years ago when I first moved to the area, like we didn't have that available as much.
Yeah.
And so the ones that are doing
Was Resident Advisor even available during that time?
I don't think so, man.
No?
I think this was still in the realm of like paper tickets when I got here, right?
Craigslist
like
or some weird thing, yeah.
Yeah, and then like, you know, Echo Stage was still on Eventbrite, you know, in the early teens maybe, like like it was anyways, they're not talking about Echo Stage, but yeah, I think that like you kind of said about Project Glow, like we should be kind of taking advantage of, but also be grateful for the different venues, the different settings that we have, and especially grateful and especially, you know, proud of as a community, if you will.
It's a community-driven thing, honestly.
Because you got people who are doing it right. They're opening it up. They're filling the place up, right? So the venue's going to do well. So in a time when clubs and bars and restaurants are struggling in certain ways, to see our friends filling up at capacity, right? Getting their 120, 150 tickets or whatever. It's pretty impressive because it's a competitive space, but it feels good to see those guys, you know, doing it right.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that's part of the economics of it. Like we're putting a lot of free shows out there.
Yeah.
You know, none of this is like ticketed. And, I mean, $10 would go a long ways.
Yeah.
And we just said, we figured, hey, at the end of it, we're not really all trying to make money out of this. You know, like come in and, you know, economically with like bar sales or whatever. I mean, at the end of the night, you know.
I think there's an ongoing debate about the sustainability from an economic standpoint, all that stuff. But again, like the people who want to do it and are able to bring the passion and bring the talent and bring the vibe and kind of the accessories to the party, like whether it's artistic or whether it's food and drink or whatever it happens to be. You know, another one like Coffee Club Social, right? Like their Baltimore events, Cafe Disco Rex, you know, those guys are doing more rooftop stuff, right? Like they've got, I think a monthly series now in Baltimore. And,
speaking of Baltimore, last night.
I was in Annapolis last night.
You were in Annapolis.
Some of our Baltimore friends, I was in Annapolis at Federal House last night. And as to the extent that we're here at this to talk about like different scenes and different towns and cities that have electronic music, last night was EDM, tech house remixes, right? Like the candy, the sugar, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: if you're gonna do those events, you're gonna find yourself on the lineup for those events. Do it. Like go do it the right way. Like do it with some energy.
Don't have any hang-ups
like,
and think about read them.
Yeah, know when to introduce the right vocal, know when to introduce like a long kind of build. You know, like
you don't want to hear a 6-minute track. Let's just say that.
I'm like
right.
Like all I'm thinking to myself is some of these times like I can't wait to go back home, get to the studio and do like 4 hours of like melodic progressive house and just see what happens. But also like when you're in the moment and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do a tech house remix of Bon Jovi, whatever, right? The people enjoy it. Like you can feed off that, and you can also I found bits and pieces where I could introduce some tracks that had a good groove that weren't mainstream, but people were vibing to. Now you can only do that for a couple minutes.
I think that's honestly what I've always wanted to say. That demos who you are as a DJ, that you're credible enough and comfortable and not have reservations about bringing something that's more of a deeper cut, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I did play the new Pink Pony Club remix.
And you didn't even go to Project Glow. How'd you figure that out? That's great.
Hype Edit, be thy friend,
that's
man.
Nice.
Hype Edit is your friend. Yeah. Oh, there he is. There's Rich. Oh, there's our guy right there, man. Yeah, Richard from Music Box. None better. Has hosted us a couple times. Like, has come through when not only us, but like when other friends of ours have had events that need to get on the calendar. Like, what's up, Rich? I don't know if you're still on the IG Live, but we appreciate you, man.
We very much appreciate you.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good.
I saw Rich at Project Glow.
I'm sure. Rich is at
How was Tiesto? Okay.
Rich had last night was his they had a trance like a
trance theme.
They're like a melodic and trance and
yes.
I know I was gone out of town in Annapolis, so I didn't catch the full the full show or anything, but I saw some of the stuff on social and
yeah. There's a group, Facebook group. I feel like it's called like a Generation X or trans group that I could say that they are very solidified.
Yeah.
And they'll pop up to any of our local like shows.
Yeah.
Big or small, and dedicated to it.
Yeah, I mean, Rich is the right guy. Music Box is the right venue for it. But sorry, back to Annapolis for a second. It's my first time performing there, and it's on the water. It's downtown. Like Federal House is downtown. It's on the water.
Yeah.
So it's just a fantastic setting. Like you got the breeze coming off the water, but you have great foot traffic in that downtown area, and so people walking by can see the DJs from the front window. They can see the lights. They can hear the music. A lot of the places we've done around here don't have that, right? They have the line at the door. It seems like
very blue collar from what I could see in Annapolis. Or more college.
It was a mixed crowd. We had a private event that was there before us, so we had the benefit of them sticking around for our, at least the opening set, which we were on in the hour or so after. But it's just, especially on when it's great weather, there's a good foot traffic. It's a vibrant area. There's people walking around, and then around the corner, there's a couple of places that are popping, that are more college bars. Yeah. So it's just good to have that like downtown like vibe,
sort of like bar hoppy.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me. It kind of reminded me in a way of like 6th Street in Austin, which is a much younger college crowd, but you also have like the music, the rock venues, like you've got the comedy.
It's all just crossover at this point. A lot of
it just was cool to see people like
weaving in and out of
like
different
going
scenes,
to different bars, and it's like Annapolis is just a very beautiful town down by the water. So it was a nice backdrop to a pretty good night with some great friends of ours, great DJs that we've worked with. So it's the first time I worked with Sarcasm, who's out of Baltimore, Wolfmane, who a good friend of ours, and DJ Amp.
A legend.
A legend. Yeah. So it was just cool to see those guys. Finally got to meet DJ Amp, and just be a part of that group, that community, and they were so cool. Like they were digging the music we were playing. Sarcasm has some of his original stuff he was playing, and it was a good night, man. Annapolis is definitely one of those places like that's gonna pop up every now and then. I don't know that it has a pop in like house scene. It might. I know there's a lot of DJs out there that live out that way. And then to we were talking about Baltimore, like Cafe Disco Rex, Shepsworth Bentley, Reed Jackson. They're coming, guys. Like they're coming. They're putting on some incredible events. This hair is ridiculous still, but they're coming. They're doing.
Get the flip.
This will be better on audio. This video is really ridiculous.
Conan O'Brien-ish.
But
a little bit. No.
Yeah, man. Conan. If I were 6'6" like Conan O'Brien.
You want to know a story?
Tell me a story. So they want to know a story.
I moved to New York in 2005, and one of my first things that I did was go to the Rockefeller Plaza, and there was a line that was just sort of just whatever. It was in my path. I was like, "What's this line for?" There was a security guy. I just was curious. Had nothing to do all day. Said, "This is a standby line. Do you want to see Conan?" I'm like,
nice.
Yeah, I want to see Conan.
Nice.
So by chance, I ended up going to see Conan, and it was the night that Bruce Willis was promoting 13 Blocks, I believe, and it was also the night that fans of Dropkick Murphys came out to see them. Oh, right. And they had 2 tickets available. Me and my wife at the time said, "Hey,
let's go.
2 available." They said, "Listen, we'll spot you in." And I was like, "What? Really?" So Conan pre-show, I was probably like row 15.
Yeah.
Came all the way, basically one row in front of me. And I was like freaked out, because I don't know how it is with you seeing it on TV, but when you see that makeup, you clearly see how.
What's up, Wolfie?
Yeah, hi, Wolfie. So, anyways, clearly it's just amazing how production design and even the set was so much smaller than you think and perceive it to be compared to TV. But like it was surreal. But
awesome,
anyways, we all got free shirts and Conan was right there. I got like 5 seconds of fame and.
New York's cool like that. Like, it's not nearly as cool. When I was there for my senior class trip way back when in high school, we just ended up on like the Maury Povich show. It was like our entire bus full of like 18-year-old kids from Ohio.
You tell me a story about that.
It was Maury dumb, Povich. Dude. It was Maury Povich.
Yeah.
It was just people fighting. Like it was so ridiculous. But it's funny how in New York you can just find those places, like find those shows that are trying to get that studio audience filled.
Yeah.
And I would much rather have been at Conan O'Brien than Maury Povich.
The old Rockefeller Center. My goodness. And I used to work right across from there at Saks. But anyways.
We'll have to check the archives for Conan O'Brien, Dropkick Murphys, and Bruce Willis.
And you'll see a 5-second clip of a man doing a marathon, and I was about to smack him in the butt as he was going up the thing, but I resisted. I did not smack him in the butt. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, we'll look for that one in the NBC archives. That's gotta be pretty incredible, man.
God, 2005 or something.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of New York, let's tell you a little bit about how our Brooklyn event went.
Yes, do tell.
So real quick, we are recording live, Instagram Live, the Open Decks podcast from my backyard again.
I want to hit wave on each one of these.
Yeah, you can hit wave, man.
Hit wave?
It's fine.
Hold on a second.
This is raw and uncut, unfiltered.
I'm waving.
Yeah, don't turn it off, man.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. No.
Okay, I might mess
What do
it
we got
up.
there? Who's still here? Anybody? Who knows? It's the mic is running straight through our primary recording. Obviously, I have no idea if they can hear us. Maybe they can. Maybe they can't.
Maybe they can.
No, there's like who are these idiots in the backyard just chugging Dale's Pale Ales. All right. So
it's crazy.
We had so the second iteration of our District Apple series that Joe Vereen and I started in New York. We had a private event at Loft 30 in Brooklyn. After hours venue.
It's all rooted mostly in Brooklyn, yeah?
Yeah, we've kind of stuck with Brooklyn for now. I think our next one will be in Brooklyn as well. We haven't confirmed the venue, but we're looking for something in later July, early August. But Brooklyn seems to have a great talent pool, honestly, to pull from. Like we've gotten some great DJs to work with us out there.
Yeah,
and it's still competitive in terms of the social aspect and getting people in, but. We had a good night. We had a lot of door sales, and we were 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So it was a late night. And in Brooklyn, right in New York, being farther north, there's your geography and whatever lesson. The sun comes up earlier than it does here, a little bit earlier, and so we got.
I heard they have a little bit of a rat problem. Sorry, I don't know. I could tell you. I could test. I live there, guys.
Yeah, man.
Listen,
of course.
Know.
So to no one's surprise, New York has a rap problem.
I apologize.
Not the venue, man. Jeez.
I apologize.
Just talk about the venue. So those of you who got this on Instagram Live, that's didn't cut the fuck out of the show because we're not going to talk about the rap problem that any venue has. Jesus. But
they didn't pay any of the rent that they were supposed to when I was living there.
We had a so we had a 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Time frame. We had on the lineup was Rolo, a friend of Joe's from New York and now a friend of ours. We had Miracle Tech, who obviously one of our favorites, up and comer here in the DC area, who will be on I think the first or second of the Clarendon Ballroom rooftop sets.
Yeah.
Miracle Tech. So Miracle Tech came
for
up.
Full support. Yeah.
And Brooklyn Loves UKG, two of their guys, Lovely Days and Schmooky, who did a B2B UKG set. and which was fantastic, by the way. And one of those guys, Lovely Days and Schmookies,
Man, I had some major FOMO, to be honest. I mean, I was like, I wish I was there.
You should, but we'll do it again, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like it's okay. It's all right, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. But here's the thing. Rolo, Lovely Days, Schmookie, those guys showed up early in the night, stuck around until, not until 6, but well past their set time. And that's awesome to see. Like, it's so cool because we see it a lot. I know people are busy, but like, people come do their set, might stay for a little bit after, they'll show up 30 minutes before maybe, but they're gone. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So we had a group, and this is by intention, by design, like stuck around, hung out for a lot of the night, and it's really cool to see that. So props to Lovely Days,
because we don't see that a lot in the scene. Sorry.
Yeah, to Adrian and Justin for sticking around.
Yeah.
And hopefully we get them down here in the DC area at some point. Lovely Days is from down here, and Schmookie is down to travel. So we'll make it happen. And then of course we had one of DC's top tier performers, and all around just incredible people. Maslow.
Yeah,
joined us.
I've had an association, and I would vouch.
Yeah,
she is incredible.
She's
person.
great. She again, she showed up before her set and stuck around for a good while after, and obviously the music was as advertised and then some.
And
like,
she is for what do you call it? Paying it forward. I mean, she is doing things for the community.
Yeah. She's
recently
just,
she had
No, go ahead.
I mean, she had sort of open decks, and also sort of.
That's right. She did the TED Talk on like building a set, right?
Building a set,
with the Connect Tribe.
Connect Tribe, yes.
Yeah. I mean, she's I had a chance to talk with her and the other DJs obviously throughout the night, and we put our lineup together for the music. It's a bonus that we're able to find some like just great people we want to like enjoy it with, hang out with, and chat with, and Maslow certainly no exception to that. I mean, just a fantastic addition to the District Apple and RPG community, man.
I mean, first and foremost, like we are very appreciative that we get the amount of support that we do.
Yeah, because we get like, look, man, we're flying under the radar. We're in little places, and so the fact that people are willing to give us a shot, like, it's pretty cool. Like it's right. I mean, it's we could get pissed off when people don't, or we could like, nah, when people give us a shot, they know what we're about.
Because I mean, we're basically, listen, like, good things will happen for the right intentions.
Yeah.
The grind that you put in, the work you put in, it's not going to always fall your way. And I just love that, at the end, like, we are receiving good things so far. You know?
Yeah, we're sticking to the recipe that has been in the cookbook from the beginning, which is it's all about the music.
Yeah.
And as long as we stick to that, we're going to continue to attract the performers that want that experience, right? Like, it's great when we can fill rooms. That's cool. We don't often, right? Because we're flying beneath the radar, and that's fine. We get people who are there for the music, and when it clicks, when it finally turns over, all the better, right?
All the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But rounding out the lineup, so not to be lost in this, was Joe Vereen and Catco from RPG Collective, and myself. We had a B to B to B, or B3B, or however you say it, from 3 to about 6.
3 till what?
Almost 6.
6?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We just again, like, just the vibe was right. Yeah. The music was great. And between Joe has, he has more of a like minimal style, groovy house. Catco she's one of the just most versatile performers in our area, in our orbit, certainly. I mean, she can go from club to like G house to tech house to, I mean, she's just got so much skill and such a broad like range.
Oh yeah.
And then there's me, who's just like, throw in some.
No, you're right.
Some groovy stuff. I threw in a little bit of like
don't
that
write
indie
yourself
dance.
off. You write a fine line.
Man,
you do a lot of things that
I'm just happy to be along for the ride and make sure that the that it flows. And it was good. Drop some indie dance stuff that I like. Drop the new Chris JV track. Go deep.
Go deep. Okay.
Yeah, which has like blown up on not only because Chris is an incredible producer and performer, but because of his TikTok.
Yeah.
Which has gotten like 5-6 million views at this point. It's crazy.
Holy crap.
But
wow. Okay.
But a good deep house track.
Yeah.
And then it's just a good night all around for music. For me, it was up and back. I was up that afternoon and back the following morning. So it was like
and this
the first
is
time
your
I pulled
second show, and let's say this, like that. A lot of things could have went wrong. Honestly, it could have been just like this could be one of those times in a month that there's a lot of things going on, and people somehow managed to pop into Brooklyn. What is the venue again? What's it called?
It's called Loft 30.
Loft 30.
And
okay.
it happens to be across the street from Brooklyn Monarch.
Yeah.
And the Wood Shop. So it's doesn't get a lot of foot traffic out there, but it's in a place where there's an afters crowd. There's like other stuff going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did all right. We definitely stepped up, and the next time we go back, July or August, whenever that is, we'll take another step forward, man. For sure.
Yeah.
So we're running out of daylight, huh? Sun's going down.
And I'm still wearing my my sunnies.
What are you gonna do?
Without sun, so
you're in the right business to keep your sunnies on all night long, man. Nobody's gonna judge. But we have been recording the Open Decks podcast here in the backyard once again. We've been doing this on Instagram Live. So for the few of you that have popped onto the RPG channel on IG,
I don't know how to push wave back. I apologize for the.
I mean, just
not
take
reciprocating.
Your time. Press the button.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
But we've had a good recap here of our experiences last weekend.
And this is our how many shows have you done?
So this is our 11th one. After 10, prior to this, how you feeling, man?
Well, I think I've discussed this earlier with you. We're just letting who we are as people and connecting our love for house music and the scene, and just we're just authentic. We're kind of off the cuff a little bit. But we're doing all right.
We don't have the fancy studio.
Yeah.
Right. I go. No, we just decided to pick it up and go for it. And I do think it will be, we'll find our way into the studio at some point, and we'll level up in due time. But for now, it's all about just having the conversation, talking about the different communities, and we're doing it. But so 10 episodes in, like what else? How you feeling?
It's crazy how we've had some variety.
Yeah.
Who we've had as guests, and just the various amounts of people who we can say they're not just DJs, they're this and
Yeah. It is. I mean, looking at the roster, right? Like last week, right, when we had Nangobi, who just started DJing a year ago, to like Sean and Cass, right? And Sean, right, who's been doing this for decades, and then Miracle Tech, who's a rising star producer. It's been cool that people have been open to it and receptive, and they understand what we're trying to do, which is, this is about fostering a conversation and fostering community. Yeah. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about what we've been able to do. Like, we've had a lot of inbound requests, and we've certainly got a nice schedule.
What's been in the back of your mind that you said, listen, like let's go into like somebody that's kind of like we had Time Ritual on.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of like one of those like feeling of like, well, I would say that the varying things of like producer, DJ to people who do what he does, and this it's a great thing.
the live loop
to be very inclusive.
Yeah, trying to be inclusive from certainly from a music perspective, and I think the next thing for us is to continue to do more outside of DC. And so last week, Uganda. Next week, we're thinking Aix-en-Provence in France. So we're going international.
A peek into our next episode.
It's that Easter egg there for you. But it would be cool to get outside of DC. And again, like we're going to keep doing this, so DC is not going anywhere. But there's cities that I've talked about before that I would love to get tapped into. So Austin, Milwaukee, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Raleigh, Durham, like Charlotte, Miami, like there's Los Angeles, like
we even have
Denver.
a Hawaiian source out there.
I mean, there's a lot more to this scene than the headline events, than the festivals, than your local community. And so when you go, when you go to a new city, whether it's to move there or to work or vacation, whatever it is, I would love for people to think about these conversations as an entree to that, to say like, oh, you guys talked to somebody, who's been to Denver or lived in Denver, and now they know that like, church is an interesting spot, right?
And through the lens of this podcast, you discovered
what's cool about the church. So I had been there. Time Ritual had been there,
Alan.
And then in a subsequent episode with Merlin Berlin, she was like, I'd really like to, do something like in a church. It's like, we know we got a spot for you, right?
Yeah.
And of course, like we didn't mention it because we were lost in the moment. But like, it's cool that those like connections from been there. I know a place that has electronic music in a church.
Yeah.
Like, there you go. And it was funny that they each kind of talked about the reason that it would work.
Yeah.
Right. Because that natural reverb, the natural.
Because we know we're thinking about like as a culture. Everything has its own cool thing, little gems. This is what our driving point is always about. Like, what's the cultural gems for a city?
Yeah. So that's I think that's what I'd like for us to kind of continue to think about for what's next is more places, more cities, more communities, and just keep it cranking, man. So
that's it. That's it, man.
We've lost the daylight on Instagram Live. We still got a little bit here on the recording in the backyard, but I think we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up and
grab another Dale's Pale Ale and
let's get some more beers tossed. And what are we doing tonight? What are we up to?
Tonight,
what shenanigans are we up to?
I think if we can stay upright after a couple more Dales.
Oh my goodness, we have glow bugs. We have the glow bugs.
Dude, yeah, we got the the lightning bugs in the yard.
Bugs, yeah.
I don't know what from the Midwest we call them lightning bugs, but they're out here. Yeah, it's a real deal backyard. Tonight I'm thinking Doimoy with Ajamu.
Yes.
Afro House, chill vibes, like yeah. So we'll probably go check that out.
Some fine dining with those chill Afro vibes.
I know. Man, I've used to live in that neighborhood, and it's just wild that place went from this tiny little hole in the wall, like fusion restaurant to what it is now. It's incredible, man.
It adapts. The scene adapts.
Yeah. And good on them. Like good on Doimoy for like putting an emphasis not just on like electronic music and house music, but like the Afro house. Like what you're gonna get when you go in there.
Yeah.
Because it's good Afro house. The vibe is right, and that's impressive, man. Like that we're getting to a place where, like again, like of course there's house music, Afro house, like that's what they do, as opposed to like more top 40, more 90s, like it's which I love 90s hip hop.
And,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
we're not shaming the top 40.
No, of course not.
But
there's a time and a place, and it's good to see the times and places for house music are becoming more and more. So yeah, man. In the meantime, I gotta.
We're burning out.
Put the kids to bed. We got no light here. To all of our listeners, viewers, we're cranking. Like we've had a solid like
summer or spring,
summer, like 10 weeks on, like we're getting great support and feedback. So 5 stars, subscribe, likes, all the good things. We appreciate you so much for listening
and follow Tommy's new SoundCloud mix. Hit like.
Oh, that melodic deep one I put out.
Melodic deep set. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
More of that. All right, guys. Take care. Until next time. Ryan Soho, Tommy Jr. This is the guy you're going to see on the stage at Project Glow next year. He needs to be on the big stage. He's the most underappreciated performer here in the DMV. So get on Ryan Soho right now because he's
His
coming
words,
for you.
not mine.
All right, it's the truth.
See you
All
guys.
right, guys. Thank you very much. Bye now.
Sign off.
Bye. Yep, we're still recording this, by the way. It's not live yet, but we are recording this.
This is embarrassing.